Sound is speeding. I probably should have waited till after the sneeze passed to start. Am I going to push the sneeze down? I don't know. Hey, welcome to the show. This week with Drew, the Monday edition for Monday, May 4th, 2020. On today's episode, we got a funny big news, and we're going to talk about motherfucking Williams' Instagrams. Williams' Instagrams. Williams' Instagrams. Hi, thank you. What's going on? You fucking come around. You saying you fucking watching the show. It's the fucking YouTube. And you fucking tuning in. Shout out right off the top to our motherfucking sponsor, KingTutsCannabis.com. Right now, you can use the promo code DREW for 10% off your order. And if it's your first time ever ordering with them, they're going to hook you up with 15% off just because it's your first order. And so you can stack my promo code on top, get 25% off if you go right now. It's your first time. And we use the promo code 25, 26, 27 times now, buddy. We're fucking kicking it up there, you know. The people are buying the dope. So thank you, King Tut, and all your Egyptian weed that you're hooking up with me and my buddies and everybody who watches. And shout out to the motherfucking Patreons, the Break Even Boys, and everybody in the motherfucking hood in the north side where you reside. What's going on? You guys going good? How is just freaking? How was my week? And it's the end of the week, and now it's Monday. Oh, yeah, I had a big weekend, man. I went out and I saw the Rolling Stones on Friday, and then and then Jim Morrison came back from the dead, and I saw the Doors on Saturday. I don't know. What did I do even this weekend? What did I do even? Williams' Instagrams. All I've been doing is just fucking, I got my life lined up by like the TV shows that are fucking coming out on by the day of the week now. Like Sunday is 90 Day Fiance, which if you don't watch that show, I highly recommend that you watch that show. It's really fucking stupid, and it's a reality show about people who meet online from overseas, and it's about them meeting up for their first time and like hanging out for the first couple, you know, weeks, like after only ever seeing them online or whatever. And then they go, and then it's international couples always, and it's always an American couple with somebody who's generally in, for the most part, in an impoverished country. There's like a dude, like a dude that looks like this, Ed. He fucking looks like this, and he's got some like weird like Filipino little wife or whatever the fuck, and she lives in like a fucking just like a concrete tarp hut with like her family, and like. And he just looks like this, and he's so fucked. And then like there's this dude that's getting catfished in Ukraine, and he traveled all the way to Ukraine to see this chick for the fucking fifth time or the fourth time. And one time he booked like a fucking like a boat cruise or some sort of Mexico trip for them or whatever, and she gave him some fake address because he had to send her the ticket or whatever. He's like, I need your address for the ticket. So she gave some address, and finally he's like, okay, I have your address because she stiffed him on the Mexico trip, and finally they were gonna meet in Ukraine, and then she never met in the town they were supposed to. So he drove 8 hours to the hometown where he thought she was, and he had her address, and he's like, I'm gonna go to her house, and some old dude answered. He's like, I've never seen this chick before. I live in this small ass town, like nobody knows who that is. Oh man, and then he's just like, how is this possible? And then he's like, no, and then he goes back and he's like, okay, well fuck it, I'm gonna hire a private investigator. And the private investigator in Ukraine is like, yeah buddy, like this is like a scam, her pictures everywhere, blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, I know her pictures everywhere, her account is, people steal her pictures because she's so fucking beautiful, and I have the real account, all the other accounts are fake, this one is the real one. You can't, what are you trying to tell me, that this is not the real one? No, what the situation is that I have never spoken to this person ever once or seen them or ever once, but I have the real account and the numerous other accounts that I know about. He even said, he's like, I know about the other accounts. He probably fucking brought that up because this guy's been getting catfished for 7 fucking years. Could you imagine? There's a dude, like, if you are, it's like being in a cult or like in some fucking crazy religion, or like you have to admit to yourself, like the amount of fucking if you're getting catfished for 7 years, oh man, and this guy's in for like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and like. And like that's the thing is that there's a couple different things. Like some people think it's like, how does this guy not see this, man? And the number one thing that's preventing him from seeing it is his own ego, because in these people's heads it's this weird mix of a person who's like I am. Like, he's this old ass fucking dude. He's like a 65-year-old fucking dude, and she's like a supposedly some 25-year-old fucking blonde. And it's just like this guy's ego prevents him from seeing that he's getting catfished, because he's like clearly like, I am good enough or whatever. I provide enough value to a person who's of this, like, who looks like this. Like, they just feel like this is like I earned this, like I deserve this fucking because of like who I am. And it's like, dude, you got to check yourself, man, before you wreck yourself. And you just, that's where that saying comes from, bro. This guy, when you go completely unchecked, you're fully wrecked, bro. If you were to check yourself and be like, yo, I'm a 60-year-old dude. This is like a 25-year-old blonde model from Ukraine who I've never even spoke to. Like, if you just listed out the facts, you'd be like, well, clearly I'm fucked, man. But you can't check yourself, man. Some people go their entire lives without even understanding that you have the ability to check yourself. And that limits them from fucking achieving their like full potential as a fucking person, man. Because a dude like that, he seems like he's got a good heart on his fucking shoulders and his head and his nuts. You know what I mean? He seems like a fucking decent guy who would lovingly love anyone who would love him back. But he's fucking blinded by his inability to fucking check himself, man. You gotta fucking be able to look in the mirror and be like, what the fuck am I even doing right now? That's why you gotta smoke dope, man. That's why people say they get paranoid on fucking weed. But they're not actually paranoid. What they're doing is they're smoking the weed, and then the weed shows them all the fucked up like problems that they need to deal with in their life. And they're like, nah, man, like it gives me anxiety. Like I start thinking about this and that. And it's just like, yeah, man, because that's the shit that you've been stuffing away in the way back in your brain that you don't want to fucking look at. And then you smoke a joint, and the joint's like, hey, fucking, you got to deal with that, man. And then you're like, no. That's why it's hard. And it's like taking a big poop, man. It hurts, but then once it's out, you're ready. You're fucking feel much better. Oh, man. I keep quite a regular cycle as well, too, man. I think that's important that you got to fucking poop on a regular cycle. Courtney was like, now that we've been just like straight up living together like every day, like for like fucking months. And for like at least like 6 weeks now, she was just like, I don't even know how you'd be able to have an office job. Because of the amount of like time that you you require to be fully done pooping in the morning. Because you got to poop in the morning first thing, and then you got to go, and then you got to fucking maybe have a glass of tea, smoke a joint, fucking take another poop, eat some breakfast, get your thing going. Man, get it all out of you in the morning. I don't think people who poop at night are crazy to me, man. Especially people who poop at night in public. Like it's like 8:45 on like Friday night, and you got to take a shit in the keg. Like, how did you fuck your day up like that? Like you fucked up, bro. You shouldn't have to. There shouldn't even be fucking poop stalls, man. All poop stalls should fucking shut down after 6 p.m. in public. And it's just like, bro, if you didn't fucking, you had a chance. You had all the opportunity today. But now it's fucking 8:45 and you're at the keg and you gotta take a big shit. I'm only saying that because the last time I went to the last restaurant I ever went to before all this fucking shit went down. It was the keg, man, which I guess is a good memory. But there was a dude, I went to go pee, and there was a dude taking a shit in there, and it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you had time in between work, and now, like, there's so much that you fucked up, bro. Unless you're just a 8:45 pooper. Unless that's your schedule, bro. You figured out that you lived your life now to that you are just an 8:45 guy, and you get it out and you go to bed. You wake up, you fucking load up all day with food, and then you poop it out at night. I'd rather do the opposite. I'd rather fucking poop it all out in the morning, start loading up, go to bed, and then the factory fucking takes care of it while you're sleeping, and then you just make the delivery in the morning. Oh man, I haven't talked about poop this much in a long time, since I was probably like 12. But whatever, man. I don't even know what I was talking about. Poop, I guess. Oh, you guys fucking hear that? Woo! Oh, I should do that higher. I should do that higher. Time for motherfucking big news. Williams' Instagrams. Oh yeah, I was talking about fucking 9-day fiance. Fucking is that all I wanted to say about it? There's another woman getting catfished too. It's just, oh man, people are so and it's always like, I don't know, man. I feel like that's like that catfishing might go out of the, like, because kids are gonna be so fucking good at just being able to spot what's real and what's not real on the internet, what's a genuine, authentic interaction with someone versus like a robot or maybe even a scammer, because they're just ingrained with it. Like, kids just know how to fucking swipe. Like, they just know there's like this innate part of technology that we're just like, that you can't even teach, because it's just like seemingly like you just fucking, it has to be like, sorry, there's a little sticker on the, oh, I'll take care of that later. That you just fucking have to know. It's like video games, like, you know, like when you start fucking around like with a first person shooter, there's just so much crap you gotta just like already know about how that works. Like, if you just give like someone who's never, like my mom, if I were to just give her the controller to like fucking Call of Duty, she wouldn't even know what the fuck to do. But even if you gave that to a kid who'd never played a first person shooter, but they played fucking video games before, they'd be able to figure it out in like 2 seconds. I'd love to imagine my mom just playing Call of Duty with like a headset on. Oh man, that's so funny. Just imagine this just stark juxtaposition. Oh yeah, I set up a fucking big news. Fucking let's do it again. Time for big news with Drew. This is a fucking, I don't even know if this is funny, but I think it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but it's just fucked up. I guess I shouldn't say it's funny, but it's just fucking, I'm just so happy that I live in Canada, man. The Moscow Times. Third Russian doctor falls from hospital window after coronavirus complaint. Come on. That's fucked up, yo. A paramedic who complained about being forced to work fell from a hospital window, and this is the third incident in which a Russian healthcare professional has plunged from the hospital building under mysterious circumstances. 2 other doctors have died from their injuries for speaking up against fucking saying, be like, yo, coronavirus is actually fucked. We need some more shit. Just pretty much being like, yo, man, you guys aren't handling it well. Like, that's what fucking dictator guys hate, is when you put them on blast for like not, because their whole thing is like, everything's fucking awesome. What do you mean? I'm the shit. We're the shit. Anybody who doesn't think that we're the shit, fuck you. You're done. And then you just get a whole group of people that's like, we're the fucking shit. And if you ain't down with us, then fuck you. Like, you're out. And that's how it works, man. And so he's got that whole fucking mentality of keeping that. You got to keep that going. And if there's some doctor that's like, actually like, no, like, we don't have the right stuff, like, this isn't being handled well, it's like, well, you just get thrown the fuck off the thing. And then when next reporter comes and asks, you go, yeah, great. There's nobody dying of coronavirus in here. We're fucking doing awesome. We're Russia. We're the best. Fuck you. Everyone else, we don't get coronavirus. But everyone else does except for us, because we're the fucking shit. And you just build an entire nation on that. On that fucking energy, man. Fuck you, we're the shit. Nobody, China's like that too. What are you fucking talking about? What do you mean? Nothing was going on here. The fucking what do you mean? That's awesome, bro. You gotta fucking, like, if that was like a person, I don't know, if they're just like doing something like glaringly obvious, you know, if that was like a person, just anybody who doesn't think this fucking, if you're just like, if it's someone that you lived with and their room is just a fucking mess, the whole house is a mess, and you're just like, yo, there's a bunch of dishes. It's like, anybody who doesn't think that this fucking house is the shit is a fucking hater. What? So you hate this house? No, I'm just saying you got a lot of dishes that you probably gotta do. So you fucking hate the dishes then? So you don't like the dishes? Well, fuck you. This guy doesn't like the fucking dishes. What? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you should probably clean them. There's no, you're so. Yeah, man, that's fucked up. Boo doo 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 doo. So if you're a doctor in Russia, the police have launched an inspection. I'm sure that the police are gonna fucking do a real fucking thorough examination there. He fell. We conclude that he fell. That's awesome. Well, it's not awesome, but it's just like it's fucking shitty. But it's just how the world works, man. There's people out there just fucking bunch of dumb dudes, just dudes. Just a bunch of fucking dude. It's really just dudes flexing on each other, just flexing. Yo, you know what I read the other day is that fucking back in the day, pineapples, because it takes so long to grow and shit like that, like way back in the day, like the 1700 days or some shit, or 1800 days. That pineapples you were so expensive that you could rent, that rich people would rent one to have them at their party, to just fucking have it there and like just be like, yo, like the centerpiece of the table is like there's a fucking pineapple there, and then you would rent one. Cause it was like, and it would cost like $8,000, like the equivalent of like $8,000 in today's money to rent a pineapple for the night, and just fucking have it chill there. And then the pineapple renting guy would fucking take it back, and then you give him $8,000. And nobody ate it. They just fucking looked at it, bro. And I bought a pineapple today for fucking $3.99. Isn't that fucked up? How do we get it from there to here? Where you can flex out. Could you imagine going to it like, yo, I went to this party last night. It was crazy. I fucking seen a pineapple. What? This guy said I went to a party, saw a fucking pineapple. And now we're like, get the fuck off my pizza. I'm gonna pick this off and throw it out. Can you imagine it's showing a pineapple pizza to some fucking guy who rented one for the night? Just some fucking kid just picking off pineapples, crying. He'd be like, "Are you?" He'd be like, "You fucked." I spent $8,000 on that fucking thing, and fucking Hayden won't even eat it. All right, that's too long. Fucking. I wonder if I can do that. Yeah. I've got a pineapple at my fancy party. Pineapple. Fucking pineapple.